Okay, now I'm ready. Okay, this morning we're working a fish from Lake Malawi. A really nice fish, electric blue Ali. Scientific name is Cyanochromis fryery. Susie, come put the video. That's the bat label. We're in greenhouse 1, row E, bat 1, and that's there's abbreviations of Cyanochromis, and you notice the fryery. Put it back on there. That I'm going to say once again that terminal. Susie, complain all you want to. That terminal I is a possessive in Latin, and it is pronounced long E. So you pronounce the person's name, Fryer. This is Fryer's Cyanochromis, and in Latin that's fryery. Okay, we lost our breeding colony in the winter storm. We set up 23 fish, potential breeders, 2 young males, and I knew we had 7 females. I suspected another 3 females, and then we put in 12 little fish. We got out of it a bunch of males that ended up coming from the smaller fish. We have 15 breeder females. We're adding 3 from our BRUs. We had some breeders unsexed. BRU stands for breeder unsexed. And there are 3 young females. The colony did pretty good. We got 298 fish out of those 15 females. We have 105 1 to 2 inch fish, 148 2 to 3 inch fish, and 45 new BRUs will grow up to, hopefully, at least 20 of those will be females, and we can add them to the breeding colony. Now, I want to show you something. We've had a lot of questions about the vats. This is a 300-gallon breeder vat that they came out of. And I want to show you this. That's Moam. It is, we let it accumulate on the bottom of the vats because it's loaded with paramecium, cyclops, scuds, and more importantly than that, those represent some food organisms for the fish, but more importantly than that, it's loaded with nitrifying bacteria, bacteria that convert ammonia to nitrite, then another set that convert nitrite to nitrate. Ammonia is very toxic. Nitrite is also very toxic, just not as toxic as ammonia. And nitrite is not very toxic. Our plants use all 3. If you look around the greenhouse, we have hoja santa, that big plant there. It's a Central American cooking herb. They also make a mole out of it. This is Dieffenbachia, descended from a little scraggly plant my mother had that her cats kept scratching up. The sap for that, and that stuff's worse than poison ivy. The leaves don't bother you, but if you get the sap on you. Then down there we have a black mangrove. At the far end of the greenhouse, some more hoja santa, Piper aridum. It's a member of the pepper family. Then in all the vats we have this floating plant, hornwort, Ceratophyllum demersum. Each one of these growing tips grows at least an inch a day, and that's got several growing tips. I know people want me to sell it to them. It's just so heavy to ship. I throw several hundred pounds of it away a week. I come through, and when I get this particular vat, if you look at the hornwort in there, I went through this morning and got most of it out. This is what will be, a week from now, will completely cover the vat, be interfering with overflows and interfering with feeding. So I pull it out. Some of it goes into scud vats. So this one. And the scuds eat it. You can see this is kind of ratty. They've been eating the leaves off. And if you can probably get some scuds. There's a few scuds there in my hand. We raise a lot of scuds and sell a lot of scuds, and that's the primary food they get is hornwort. The rest of the hornwort goes on to our compost piles where we have some litter worms that help convert it into good soil. Okay, I'm going to show you me setting this vat up. If you'll back up a little bit, Susie, or go the other way. Okay, this is what we call a fry cage. We put 2 of these in each 300. Before I do that, I'm going to go ahead and turn the water on. This water coming through this 2-inch line from our pumps that are down, pumping water out of the sump. When the vat fills up, and you see that one, the water is overflowing out these overflows, and show a close-up of that, and into the floor gutter, and then it flows down to the sump, gets picked up. In the process, it passes by plants, and ammonia, nitrite, and nitrate are sucked out of the water. But keep in mind, this mulm does a lot, so we don't clean it out. We used to do this labor-intensive thing using 10-inch brine shrimp nets and cleaning the vats out. Now we don't. We leave the mulm in there. It's very beneficial, and also provides place for a little bit of food for the fish. Okay, so I'm putting that fry cage in there. You notice it's on legs. That's so that the fish can get under it. Some of the fish like hiding under it. Also, it allows them to get under to pick through the mulm to get food. And because I throw food in there, some of the food falls through. It lets them get to that. I'm putting 2 Cichlid Hotels, and these are 2-inch PVC with aquaculture netting cylinders attached to it with tie wraps with drill holes. That provides shelter. It kind of mimics the rocky outcrops that these fish live in Lake Malawi. Doesn't look like them, but it provides them the same sort of security. Okay, you have one more over here. And again, this is a fry cage on legs. The fry can hide in there from the big fish. I've noticed when females are ready to release their fry, they kind of sidle alongside these, and the fry swim out and go immediately into the fry cages. They instinctively go for cover, and that provides cover for them. We try to harvest these vats every 3 to 4 months, depending upon time of the year, because after that period of time, some youngsters are too big, start eating their younger brethren. We can extend that by coming along, pulling the cages out, dumping any big fish out. We're off schedule because of the storm and recovery from the storm. So this one should have been done a while back. So we probably lost some of the smaller fish, but we still had a pretty good, considering a small breeding colony, we did fairly well. We aim for getting 400 to 600 fish out of a vat each cycle. Okay, now that provides cover for the little fish, including the guppies that we're going to put back in here. Although guppies seem to handle the cichlids just fine. These are 2 hotels that I've hung together, and I'm going to hang on the side. That provides places for the females, and any male that wants to hide has a place to get away from things. And you even see some of the dominant males occasionally going in these to, I guess, sleep. So I put 3 sets of the Cichlid hotels I showed you earlier, strapped together. Plus, this is some drain pipe. It floats, so we put a piece of PVC on it to weight it down, so it doesn't float at the top. Okay, now I'm going to go harvest some hornwort from another vat, because I've already fed the hornwort that was in that vat to our scuds. I'll put a little back here. The overflow's over there and Horn will clog it, so I kind of use the cages to keep it away from the overflows. Okay, so this is ready for fish. Here are some guppies and red swordtails that I'm raising with these. I've got another bucket over there. I'm going to go ahead and release them. Did you have anything else in here that I didn't want in there? I've got the cichlids out already. Okay, some more swordtails. And it looks like a couple of variotus and stuff. They provide food for the fish, and we get a remarkable number of live bearers out of these 300-gallon breeder vats. We sell a lot of feeder guppies to some of our wholesale customers. There's some more guppies I'm going to put in. There may be some small fry in there that are hard to separate from the guppies, but they'll grow up next cycle. Okay, one last thing before we do the fish. When I was netting this out, I caught our resident plecostomus for that vat. We keep, I like to keep 2 in there, but we lost a lot of plecostomus in the winter storm, so we can't. This is a nice big male, and they keep the mulm stirred up and keep it from getting too deep, and also gives a chance. You'll see a plecostomus swim through and stir it up, and the fish come behind it, eating the stuff that was hiding in the mulm. For some reason, mulm doesn't build up in the floor gutters. We have some there because I siphon mulm out. But if you look, the floor gutters don't have much. It doesn't accumulate there, and it doesn't accumulate in the 4-foot deep sumps either. And I think we have a lot of feral fish, including several hundred plecostomus from the Hurricane Harvey storm. We had to take the tops off the greenhouse, and we got 14 inches of rain water in here. That triggered the plecos, the feral plecostomus in the sumps to spawn. So we have a bumper crop of plecostomus about 1 foot long from that. I'm going to harvest some and add them, so we have at least 2 plecostomus in each of the 300-gallon vats. So this is now set up for breeding, except for the fish. I'm going to select males. I'm going to go ahead and put the females in. These are the 15 bigger females. I see 1 or 2 of them are holding eggs. Our females don't usually spit because after generations in our system, and we've had this fish since 2003. The females that spit when you catch them, especially if they spit eggs, lose a breeding cycle. It takes them a while to build back up the reserves to lay eggs. So they miss a breeding cycle. So there's selection pressure each time we process these fish 3 to 4 times a year for females that don't spit. The females who don't spit leave more offspring. And the more offspring you have, the better chance I'm going to select one of your offspring as a breeder. Okay, so we've got our females set up. Now we're going to hand me a towel here. We're going to do the aquarium in a minute. It's fogging up, but we're going to select males. Let's see what I've got. Okay. That's a young male I already decided I'm not going to use. And these are surplus males. All but I'll probably put 3 males in the breeding colony, even though it's kind of a small one. Now, I want to discuss things. So let's take a look at these. Both of them are nice. I don't like him as well for some reason. I'm not quite sure why. Okay, we'll do both those, and I'll come back and discuss those and this guy. Which one of these you like best?
Right here.
Yeah. Okay. So we're getting down to it. But let's discuss. First, I want to pick out the best electric blue male, or best two. What do you think, this one?
Yeah.
Well, I'll test this one against another one. That was pretty obvious.
That's a right hand.
Yeah. Okay.
You don't know, I think the right hand is better.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, now then, what do you do about this? This strain, this population throws these pale males as well as the dark ones. I've been selecting against the pale males because this fish is called electric blue, and that's more of an electric blue. But I'm going to keep him just to keep the genes in the population. Let's make sure I've selected the right fish here. Let me look at these guys. I'll go with these two. Okay, so we've got 8 males that we're going to sell. Let's go ahead and put these in the aquarium to take a look at them. You're going to give me a towel and I'll wipe that off. Okay, you can see the difference. That's that pale male now. You see how he's got those dark bars? That's a fright pattern. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and put them in their home. You notice that I use mostly hands to handle the fish instead of nets, and that's because hands don't abrade the fish the way a net could. Okay, so we've got that breeding colony set up. It's relatively small. We only have 18 females. I'd rather have at least 40 females, and 50 is good. But we will add females next breeding cycle. Okay, good fish keeping.